Welcome to my food storage room. So in this video, I am going to tell you a little story about our crazy grocery shopping trip. And I'm going to show you what we bought. And then I'm going to give you a look around at the food that we currently have in our pantries and our freezers so that you can get a good feel for what we have on hand. Because if I just show you what we bought for the month, you are going to think that we don't have enough to live on because it's not a lot. We spent under $700 this month for groceries for our family of 12. That's really awesome, and it's because we are producing so much ourselves right now. So we live on a small homestead, so we have a dairy cow. We are able to provide ourselves with milk. We have chickens for meat and eggs. We have rabbits and cows for meat. We have turkeys. And we also have a 3,000 square foot garden. So every year we do a little more and we are able to provide more of our food. We are nowhere near providing everything, obviously, as you can see by our Costco trip that I'm about to take you inside and show you. But we do a little more every year and we preserve a little more every year. So I'm going to, first we're going to head inside and I'm going to show you what I bought this month. It was $648 was my total, and that included the 4 huge bags of dog food that I bought. So, you can subtract that. In fact, I have the receipt here with me. The dog food bags were $38 for the 2 dog food bags and $21 for the 2 puppy food bags. That's the price each. So, multiply that by 4. And then I'm going to take you on a little tour around so you can see what we have going on. So I knew I had to do my Costco trip because even though I didn't need a huge amount of things from Costco, I needed some staples that we were out of, and so I kept putting it off and putting it off. The nearest Costco is 30 minutes away, and I just have had a lot going on here, and I just never like to get in the van and go. Finally, I look at the clock, and it's like getting close to 6 o'clock. It's like, how did this happen? We don't have time to go again. They close at 8:30. I haven't fed my family dinner, so I said, forget it. So I get dinner on the table, we finally eat, and we're finishing up, and it's getting late at this point. And I suddenly realize we're going to a family party tomorrow and I'm supposed to bring the bread, and I was out of flour, which was one of my main reasons that I needed to go. And it's sourdough bread, so I needed my flour to make this. So I said, I do need to go. Jason's like, let's just go and get the flour. I know it's a long drive, but whatever. We'll just go get the flour and come back. And then tomorrow we can go again in the morning and get the rest of the things. So Bella was going to stay behind, and she kept the toddler and put him to bed. Everybody else wanted to go. So at this point, we get in the van. When we get to Costco, it is 15 minutes before they close. And on the way, we talk about it. We're like, okay, let's just go ahead and get the flour, and we'll get the dog food because that's a real large item. Since we're minus a couple kids, it'll be easier to fit it in. And while we're at it, let's just grab just the refrigerated and frozen things. And then all the pantry items we'll get tomorrow because we're going to my sister's house, and she lives near Costco too. So we get all the other pantry items tomorrow. We don't want to deal with the refrigerated things, etc. So we're like, okay, we got a game plan. You get that, we'll get that. We get in 15 minutes to spare. We rush through the store to our appointed areas that we've decided on. We grab everything and we meet back. It only took us 7 minutes. We're looking at each other like, this is crazy. 7 minutes. So we said, you know what? Let's just run through the store and grab the other things. Not with a list. We'll just run together and think of what we need. And sure enough, we did. And we finished. We did in the 15 minutes that we had left before the store closed, and they said, everybody come and check out. We ran through that store and grabbed everything that we needed, and on the way home we reviewed it, and we had only forgotten peanut butter. I was totally blown away that we were able to do it. We were high-fiving each other like, this is amazing. 8 kids, a month worth of the things that we needed from Costco, and we did not have to take a trip back there again. We can do without our peanut butter or whatever. Maybe Jason will buy one later in the month. Anyway, so let me take you inside and show you what we managed to buy in 15 minutes. 4 bunches of bananas and 12 bags of apples. Now we also got 2 big boxes, I would say probably 50 pounds of apples from a friend from her parents' tree. So we've been putting those up for applesauce. sauce. Apple butter, apple pie, all of those things. Okay, I've got 3 bags of I have 4 bags. Sorry, I forgot we took one straight to a party. 4 bags of the organic tortilla chips. These were on instant rebate. They were $4 off for each 2-pack, and so I went ahead and got these Victoria marinara sauce. So there's 2 2-packs of those. We got just 3 boxes of pizzas for the month, just for times when Jason and I are on a date night and we need something quick for the kids. So there's 3 in each of the bottoms, so that's 8 pizzas. So that'll be 2 nights. 4 of the organic Greek yogurt and 4 of the grass-fed butter. And then I also got 2 2-packs of this, just 2 4-packs, that's right, 2 4-packs of this Kirkland butter. If I need it for baking or things like that, I would love to just use this for everything, but you know, it's twice the cost. So we use this for just eating, and then if I need anything for baking or oiling pans or whatever, I use this salted butter from Kirkland. Okay, so for our trip that we're taking, we're just going to do sandwiches the 2 days that we are out and about eating lunch. So I'm going to bake a bunch of sourdough bread, and then we have lunch meat. I actually have one more 3-pack still in the freezer from last month, so I have that plus this 3-pack of turkey breast, 1 package of ham, and then we've got 2 of these sliced Havarti cheeses, so that will be for those days. And then we probably won't need all of that over the weekend, and then we'll use that through the month for lunches. I got 3 of these mercury tested tunas. We really enjoyed having the tuna and salmon cakes last month, and for our family it takes this whole stack plus sides, and then we'll do that like for a lunch or something. So I've got, this will be 4 meals basically. I've got 3 of the tunas and 1 of the salmon. I had a child with me who said, please, can we get some olives? I'm in the mood for olives. So we got a jar of olives. Most of the family doesn't like olives, I think. I don't know. Maybe they like them, but they're not like, ooh, olives.
Ooh, olives.
There's one. 1 vanilla extract. I like to get this from Azure Standard, but since I did not get an order from them this month, I picked one up from Costco. We have 1 avocado oil and 1 olive oil. 2 bags of dates. 1 2-pack of raisins. So these I will pull out, so we have for the 4 weeks about 1 bag of dried fruit per week is how I'm figuring it. And then I have 2 2-packs of the all-purpose flour. Are these 10 pounds on one day? Yes, 10 pound a bag, so that's 40 pounds. Normally I get the 50-pound bag from Azure. So that should work out perfectly because I usually have a little left over. In addition to this, we bought 4 bags of dog food. Okay, so back out here, I did not clean up for you guys, so you're just going to have to bear with me with the mess because we've got a lot going on in our life right now, and tidying everything up is not on the list. So right here inside of, let's see, this is a very small space, so it's always hard to show this, but this is our well house. You can see that blue thing over there is as our above ground pump, I guess, for the well. And I also have shelves in here. And so here I have, disposable things for when we host and have parties and things. I have extra supplements there, some empty jars and dishes. Up on the top, I have things like diapers and other, tissues, things like that. Now over here, this is the area where, this is my collection of seeds. There's more other places, but I like leaving them in here because it's more climate controlled. Okay, so this is what I have done so far this year with preserving. This is jams and apple butters here in this section. I've started putting up some of our potatoes in jars, and down all that way it's all pickles and some pickled green beans and things. Then up on this shelf, a few more pickled items. These are all salsas, and I actually have them sorted by mild, medium, and spicy over here. I've just started putting away applesauce, and then some of it I turned into apple butter. But I have another box to do for applesauce. And I think I might actually drive out I think it's in Washington, Missouri. There's a place that you can, it's an orchard. It's not a U-Pick orchard, but there's a spot there that you can go buy boxes of apples for a pretty decent price. So I may take a drive out there again, and because obviously I only have, you know, half a dozen quarts right now of applesauce, and I'd like a lot more than that. And then up on the top, I've shown this before, but this is just our random collection of toiletries, light bulbs, bandages, you know, things like that are up on the top. So here on the bottom half, I have some of our food storage buckets there, but I have some produce that a friend gave me, the same friend that gave me apples. She grew these little things, she didn't even know what they were, but they taste like kind of a real mild melon. And her kids didn't really love them, so she sent them to us. My kids obviously have eaten this whole thing. It was all the way to the top. They said, sure, we'll eat them. So that's been a nice, refreshing fruit to have. Over here on this rack, we were given 2 boxes of sweet potatoes, so I have put some here. And then on the bottom here, these are volunteer squash, mostly decorative squash that grew out in our pasture. And so I put them in here just kind of in a single layer to cure. Those will be fun to decorate with in the fall. Then over here, in the corner there, under those heaps of tablecloths, are my potatoes that I dug up from the garden. I wanted to make sure they stayed in the dark until I was able to get them in a better spot. So I have them layered in boxes so that they're not all in one spot. I'm not going to unload it all to show y'all, but that's what's under there. Some more bins here of just our, you know, things like popcorn and flour and wheat berries, etc., etc. We also have, there's just a lot going on down here because we also have animal feed in here right now that we didn't want any critters getting into. I get asked a lot about mice in here. We have never had a mice issue. It's a very tight room with concrete along the bottom. So I'm really grateful for that. Over on this side of the room, more bins with things like flour and rice and things down there. Then up here, I have a basket of squash from a friend who grew squash in her garden and knew that I did not because of her squash bug problem. So she gave that to me. Isn't that wonderful? The bananas we bought, somebody stuck in there. Here I have jars of my dehydrated teas and herbs, lavender, chamomile's back there, that I'm slowly doing a little at a time, saving up for the winter. Some more sweet potatoes, the flour that they brought in. This is white vinegar for my pickles, some molasses. Sugar needs to go into one of the bins. These are my garden knives and things. Some sauerkraut here. Most of it we have in the refrigerator, but this one is still doing its thing. This is some of the squash that I told you about that was very, very green, so I put it in paper bags to ripen up. And then these are the dates that we got. A few candles back there. And the raisins. I had plenty of lemon juice, peanut butter, what is that called? Ketchup and mustard, and some more oil, tomato products, garlic. Okay. Up here on the top shelf, this is our collection of water glass eggs that we are saving up for the winter, and our chickens have already started slowing down in their laying. Now it is super hot. It's 100 degrees today, and it's supposed to be 100 degrees all week. So I'm sure that has a little something to do with it, but these are all the eggs we've preserved so far, plus a 5-gallon bucket. A couple more things, and then on the top we did stick the chips there, but it's mostly things like candles and egg curtains and some different types of knife sharpeners and what do you call that, vacuum sealer. Those kind of things are up top. Also, at the very back of the room here in this basket on the wall, I just threw my garlic that I had harvested. It's not cut at all yet, but or pulled apart. I just honestly probably won't. I just pull out as needed and take it in the house and chop it up. Okay, we're now moving out into the barn, and like I said before, it's like 100 degrees out here. And there's also a chicken going crazy for some reason. Maybe she's trying to lay an egg in the barn. So bear with me, but I'm going to show you what is in my poor suffering freezers that are trying to endure this heat. There you are. Get out of here. Freezer number 1 is my chicken and rabbit freezer. Actually, this is not as full as it could be quite yet because I have some of it in the other freezer. We butchered our meat birds recently, and to cool them down quickly, I didn't want to pack all of them in the freezer, you know, when they all needed to be frozen. So I spread them out in all of our freezers, and then I bring them back and put them into the freezer they belong into. And I think there's a couple still in one of the freezers. We'll see as we move along. Freezer number 2. This I'm going to organize as we go here because, like I said, I have not looked in these. This is what we have left of sausage. So we only have a little bit of sausage left and no bacon. We are waiting for our pigs to be ready to harvest. So until then, we're kind of in a pickle. This is the stuff the kids brought out for me. And underneath it, we have what's left of some frozen fruit that we had bought a bunch of on another grocery trip. And we have some frozen bananas. This is some, what is that actually? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna have to see what that is. Venison maybe? That's in the wrong freezer. And then over here, this big box is fish, filleted fish from our neighbors who gave it to us from their fishing trip. And underneath it, this is a bowl of fat that I need to render into lard. And then under here are a bunch of ice packs. Our third freezer is our beef and venison freezer. So this is getting low because we are going to be butchering again in maybe a month or 2. We have another cow almost ready. And so a lot of it is actually soup bones because over the summer it's just so hot. I made a lot of chicken bone broth, but I didn't use these beef bones. So this center is mostly bones. We do have some packages of steaks left. Honestly, the steaks were not super awesome this time. The last cow we butchered was a Holstein, and just as we've read, they don't make the best steaks. So, you know, they're okay, but it's not like, wow, let's have a steak. And then I just have some random, this is more bones. We're almost out of ground beef. There's just a couple packages of that left. This is the last bag of venison that we got from Grandpa that I need to grind up. What's that? Some ribs, it looks like. I take that back. There's a second bag that looks like venison also. So that's great. That'll get us through with ground until we butcher again. One more bag of ground beef down there. And as you can see, we're just kind of working through the very end of that meat. These freezers ebb and flow. Sometimes they are full to the bursting, like after we butcher a specific animal, and then, you know, they'll get low again while we wait for the next one. One thing that has been kind of challenging as we have grown and tried to understand how to provide 100% for our own meat is how many of a certain animal do we need. And so it's just been a learning experience. Our kids have grown as the years have passed too, so we consume more. So we're kind of learning. We would love to be able to supply the grandparents with our good quality meat too, but we need to get more animals because right now we are running out before the next one is ready to harvest. And so, you know, we need to kind of figure that out a little more. We only butchered 4 pigs this year, and they're coonies, and they were on the smaller side, and it just wasn't enough. And now we have another batch, but growing, but they're not ready to be butchered yet. So we're learning, you know. And of course, weather conditions affect things. The pastures were in a difficult place this year. There was a drought here in Missouri, and so, you know, things are growing slower because the pasture isn't as good a quality. So there's just a lot of factors. We ended up we were given some meat bird chicks, so that was a real blessing that we didn't anticipate. We actually had planned to hatch a certain number of our own chicks that will be the next crop of meat birds, and we had the incubator packed with eggs and it broke, and so we lost that whole batch. And we don't have an incubator. So some of our moms sat on nests, and we have chicks from them, but that set us back. So this is life with homesteading, and I don't think it will ever be at a place where everything just runs smoothly and, you know, you perfectly have your animals in line, etc., because it's real life. But we have learned so much in the past couple of years, and we're continuing to learn more.